Well, Jetstar has apologised this morning to hundreds of passengers who were left stranded on board an aircraft at Alice Springs Airport for 7 hours. The incident happened when a passenger suffered a suspected stroke, forcing the flight to be diverted. Then an electrical fault was detected, meaning a second aircraft had to be flown in.
Let's get today's take on this with 2GB's Ben Ford and 9 Honey Shelley Horton on the Gold Coast. Shelley, good to see you again. Glad to see you feeling better, but passengers were not allowed to exit immediately due to the NT airport not being an international airport. So is an apology from Jetstar enough?
No, absolutely not. I mean, 7 hours on the tarmac when they've already flown for 7 hours. I would have completely lost my nut. Like, I just would have gone crazy. Plus, they only had 50% aircon and limited food, no entertainment. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Tough.
Imagine if you were travelling with kids. Imagine if you were travelling with an elderly relative. Or just imagine you travelling by yourself.
Yeah.
They should have done something like bus everyone to a hotel or even to a football field or something where they could be in the fresh air, wait until another plane's available, and they should all get 100% of their money back because this is a PR nightmare. They need to clean it up.
Well, as far as I'm aware at this stage, Jetstar is saying they will offer passengers refunds on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, I think Shelley's right, Sylvia. You just give the money back.
To every single one of them.
It's not every day that you have a sequence of events like this.
Very
you have
unlucky.
a medical episode followed up with an electrical fault, and so they didn't have a plane there on standby, as you wouldn't expect them to in Alice Springs, and the airport isn't an international one. But you need to introduce some new guidelines today to say, in circumstances like that, common sense needs to override the rule book. Get them off the plane, get them into the air-conditioned terminal, and it's not like they're able to leave the airport. Keep them there. If you need to have an AFP officer or someone else there from security, making sure that everyone stays where they're supposed to stay, you can't leave people on a plane
It's
for
not
7
that hard,
hours.
it's just common sense. Also making news this morning, Senator Olivia Thorpe has made headlines again, this time creating chaos over the weekend at the Sydney Mardi Gras event, lying down in front of a float, halting the parade for a short period of time. Ben, you spoke at length this morning about that. What are you feeling about her protest, which she has a right to do?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that Lydia Thorpe engaged in this manner because we've seen it from Lydia Thorpe on so many occasions in the past. But I would have thought on an event celebrating gay and lesbian pride and a community that has had to fight for its rights, like Indigenous Australians have had to and still are, Lydia Thorpe, of all people, would have understood this is not the time or place to be protesting. And guess what? She jumped in front of floats that are community organisations that look after young people when they're in all sorts of trouble. It has been reported that she was blocking the AFP and the New South Wales Police float. That's not right. She came out onto the parade route after they'd gone past and blocked these community organisations that are dedicated to helping young people who are facing massive challenges in their life. Lydia Thorpe is an egomaniac. Her behaviour suggests that she is not fit to sit in the Parliament. And still she hasn't learned the lesson. She never comes out and says, OK, I stuffed up on this one. Seriously, Lydia has got massive problems.
I think it's a real shame, Shelley, that she has taken away some of the attention from what was a wonderful celebration.
Absolutely. It was a magnificent parade. It was World Pride Month. We did not need her getting a bit of attention for herself. I think that everyone has the right to protest, but this is taking away from the message that you were trying to support. So it actually isn't a successful protest. And I think the fact that the crowd was booing her, the actual Mardi Gras committee came out and condemned her. I mean, she really wasn't doing herself any favours. And yes, you're completely right, taking away from such a spectacular celebration, so much enjoyment, and holding up the parade for people who were there to celebrate.
I had someone contact me this morning who was there with his wife as volunteers, and they were saying, well, hang on a moment, we ended up getting home an hour late than we had planned to because of this. And can I also offer, this is only a first world problem here, but Lydia needs to have a look at her footwear of choice for the Mardi Gras because she went with the high heels. Surely you wear the flats.
Always been.
Have you not been at Mardi Gras? There's more high heels there than Imelda Marcus's wardrobe.
But when you're laying down on the ground and you've got police trying to pull you up off the ground, it just looked uncomfortable to me.
Well, welcome to being a woman, Ben.
Okay.
Exactly.
We need to learn something.
Beauty is pain.
We've all learned
There were more men in in high heels than women. Yeah.
Stay with us when we come back. Remembering an icon, tributes for Australia's sweetheart, Olivia Newton-John. All the beautiful moments. They were stunning. They're coming up next.
Well, Dame Olivia Newton-John was honoured yesterday in a memorial service in Melbourne. Celebrities, fans and her family all paid tribute to an amazing woman who was Australia's girl next door.
Shelley and Ben are still with us here to discuss. It was such a moving ceremony, wasn't it, Shelley? And you've got your own memory with Olivia. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I've got the cutest way that I met Olivia Newton-John. It was 2008 and a whole group of journos were flown over to LA for the first ever A380 with Qantas, their brand new plane back then. So we took off in LA and then over the loudspeaker was, attention ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, John Travolta. And John Travolta was flying the plane.
Oh my gosh.
And then next thing you know, out bursts Olivia Newton-John and she's in the Qantas uniform and she's like, I'm your trolley dolly. It was fantastic.
Wow.
I got to meet her husband. She was just joyful. Everything. She just had this energy around her that just made everyone happy. So it was like the perfect way to meet her.
You did such a great job, DC, if I can just throw in, at hosting it yesterday, and Richard Wilkins' beautiful words. But you know what really struck me? Before it all got underway, Alicia and Tony were hosting the lead up to the whole thing, and they spoke to people outside the event in Melbourne, and looking around at the amount of women, particularly of a certain age, who were growing up when Olivia was hitting her peak. And the number of them that had blonde hair as well, I noticed in all the footage in the background. To hear people speaking from the heart about what she meant to them and the fact that we had this Aussie who was not only dominating the music and movie scene in Australia, but doing it worldwide, I really love that. It's the connection between people that counts in life. And one thing that can never be argued is Olivia connected with so many people. And it was great that so many of them were able to be there at that celebration yesterday. It was first class.
I touched on this earlier, but when the spokesperson from the Cancer Wellness Centre got up and spoke, she was talking about the connection Olivia was able to forge with the patients there, and not because she was Olivia Newton-John and a superstar, but because she had a shared experience with them and such a beautiful human touch as well.
And that's how that legacy is going to continue moving forward, how they're going to continue to raise money and fight cancer. I mean, that's unbelievable. Name another superstar that's put their money in their mouth like that. Maybe the first one I think of is Dolly Parton and Moderna. And but there's not many that actually put their money and their names to something like Olivia did. It's
we
rare.
love you, Olivia. We love you.
Shelley, thank you, Ben.
Thank
Good
you,
to see you.
Have a great week. Coming up on Today Extra, Harry...